Mermaid Love. When a very rich knight died, his widow moved with her only child to a castle in the middle of a lake. The child grew in beauty and understanding, but he was always very pale and withdrawn. He had chosen a room with a good view of the surrounding lake. Ever so often he would look dreamily over the lake. When he was 24 years old, his mother urged him to choose a bride instead of leading a lonely life, but he would not. One evening he felt sad because of his mother's promptings. He leaned at the open window and saw the moon reflecting in the water. He thought of a bride and how she had to be like in order to please him. Tired, he went to bed, but forgot to close the window. Suddenly he noticed a bright glow at the window. He looked up, but could not distinguish anything. He was about to fall asleep when the curtain of the bed was swept aside and a female with silk hair and light robes stood beside it. In the subdued moonlight, he saw she was a pale, beautiful woman. She lay down beside him. They talked with each other, and the night passed. In the morning, the woman was gone, but if he left his window opened at nights, a woman would come in and lie beside him, and he was happy. After some time he wanted to see her by day too, for he sometimes felt it was not the same woman who came to him. And besides, his mother pressed him to find a bride, even a poor bride, if only he would marry. However, the one who slept with him would say, "My dear, I cannot marry in your ways. Let us be man and wife as we have been up till now instead." But the young nobleman's mother had secretly looked for a bride for her son. She hurried and decided when the marriage was to be. On the first day of the wedding, people were dancing until the early morning. On the second day, the guests were eating and drinking by long tables. On the third day, several women led the bride to the bridegroom's chamber. When they entered, the curtains of the four-poster's bedstead rustled so much that it alarmed the bride, but the bridegroom laughed it away. When the other women left and the bride went into the bed, she found there was someone there already, a woman, a mermaid. Her icy cold breath made the bride shrink to the edge of the bed. On the other side of the mermaid, the bridegroom lay down. So it was every night. A mermaid laid between them. The young man had in mind to embrace his bride also, but she was so grieved that she pined away and died within a year, still a virgin. The same thing happened to 10 more women that the mother chose for her son. All died within a year after marrying him. He got quite a reputation. However, the 12th bride-to-be asked the wise woman what to do to survive marrying him. The woman answered, "The 11 first wives died because of mermaids, but you can protect yourself." Then the woman told her how to save herself and her husband from the mermaids. The bride was to keep the bedroom windows tightly shut on the 3rd wedding day, so that no one could come in through them. And in the midnight hour, she was to chant a spell and throw special herbs under their bed. Her husband would then still yearn for the view of the lake and would get restless and want to open a window to get fresh air, but she had to hold him back. He was not to open any window at all that night, said the wise woman. If the bride did not carry through all she was told to do, the mermaids would overcome her husband, and that might be the end of him. At the wedding, the bride carried through everything she had been told. When midnight came on the 3rd wedding day, there came plaintive tones from outside the bedchamber. Her husband wanted to get out of bed and see what it was. Something about those sounds apparently overcame him. However, the bride managed to keep him back by silently repeating a charm that the wise woman had taught her. She held him back until long past midnight. She felt there was someone else in the moonlit bedchamber still, for the bed curtains were opened, and 12 times there was a sigh. The bride intoned another charm and prayed with her husband, as he had not even thought of praying the last 12 years. All through the late night they heard wild singing and water rushing. The water in the lake rose so high that waves licked the bedchamber windows. But at long last the night was won, and peace came along with it. 1 year afterwards, the new lady of the castle had a boy, and there was much rejoicing in the castle. However, the wise woman had cautioned the wife not to let go of her child at any time before the 12th day, so the child was baptized only on the 13th day. During the ceremony, they heard children's voices from the corners of the room. "I would also like a splash of water like that. I would also like it." But there was no one to be seen. 12 children hopped forward at once. They were pale and water-colored, but beautiful, with silk hair, webbed toes, and connected feet. The count was terrified to see them. When the priest baptized them, all but one of the pale children fell dead to the floor. The last of them managed to squeeze out these words before he died, he too. "A human is our father, 12 water women are our mothers. We were not holy humans, not holy waterfolks, but now we are released from that fate. Also know that the water women bought themselves 300 years of youth and beauty by loving our father."